Hey, what's up, guys? I'm sorry for not streaming for a while. Right now, I just got my second shot, and it has hit me like a fucking train. I mean, like I could hear the whistle coming for a little bit, and then the headache started, and then the nausea started, and now the sleepiness has started, and so it is just a bad time right now over here in the world of bigs. However, there are good things going on. Like for example, that 650 people were like, "Oh shit, I like this shit. Let me watch more." So that's been super cool. I feel like I'm very bad at showing gratitude for that. I don't know why I'm not good at saying thanks for things, but I don't feel like I convey it enough how much I appreciate the fact that people like and want to see more of my dumb shit. So thanks. Uh, that's about as heartfelt as it get. I do appreciate it though. So with the release of seasons, there's been a lot of the objectives that say, "Hey, go play Starfighter." Now, I personally had no problems with Starfighter. However, I can see where some people would not enjoy Starfighter because it might not always be the world's most fun experience. It can be frustrating or clunky or it's completely new. Like you signed up for an MMO, you didn't sign up for a 3D space shooter. What the fuck is this going on, right? So I figured I would put out a little like three basic tips of how to not suck a fat dick at Starfighter, right? Now, again, I'm not that good at Starfighter. However, I know the basics of what I'm doing. So if you are super frustrated with Starfighter and you don't know what to be doing or how to make the experience more enjoyable, here are my three basic tips beyond just like queue and get it over with. Like that's obviously not that's not fun. That's not what we're here for. So the first thing I would recommend doing if you're going to be going for the Galactic Seasons Starfighter missions is do them all on the one character. What that'll mean is that if you're doing all of your Starfighter on one character, at least to start out with, you are going to be collecting fleet requisition and ship requisition, which you're going to then spend to be upgrading your ship. Now, the individual upgrades each time, it's only like 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% more damage, 10% extra speed, etc., etc. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot on the surface. However, when I queue on a fresh character that doesn't have any of the extra bonuses, I definitely feel it compared to playing on a character that has all of my ships unlocked, right? It is a much more frustrating experience to play on essentially a vanilla ship than it is to play with a ship with all the upgrades. So until you feel really relatively comfortable, I would recommend running all your Starfighter missions on one character. That way, you can start building up that fleet or ship requisition, and then you can start unlocking the higher tiers of upgrades, which are going to be really making a difference for you. Now, the second tip, at least for people like me who really suck at 3D shooters, I would recommend playing a gunship because I I do not have the hand-eye coordination, especially like right now when I'm mentally deficient, to be running around and like a scout fighter or managing my missile locks, etc., etc. I am much better suited for like the point and click adventure game that is playing a gunship because it takes the movement speed aspect out of Starfighter and makes it a little bit more manageable for people like me who are either slow or who get seasick because that's no one wants to play a game and then like throw up afterwards, right? Like it's not a fun experience. So for me, I get far less seasick when I'm playing a gunship. It's also fucking really powerful, as you can see here. The way that gunships works, for those of you guys just getting into it, is that after you fly around and you find a spot that you want to set up, you can right click, which is going to stop your ship from moving. Once you have stopped your ship from moving, you hit the right click button, right? You will enter it into essentially like this sniper mode, right? Where now you have to charge up your shot. You can see up there in the top of the screen, there's a little bar where I'm holding left click, and then I can unleash it by letting go of left click. It's going to fire a very powerful round and do a good chunk of damage and not have to be like a consistent aim type of thing. Granted, I have the aim of a drunk monkey, so I'm not even that fucking good at a fucking gunship. However, you just, hover your cursor over the big red target. One thing that, to get that red target to circle around the ship you want to shoot at, you click the E button. That'll give you that little reticle that you need to be hovering over. It's really a basic tip. However, if you haven't played Starfighter before, you probably won't know what that means. So, essentially, point your ship at the enemy, hit right click, enter in the sniper mode, hit E to get that little reticle around him, and then hold left click to charge up your shot, and then unleash it to hopefully destroy your target. It is a much easier experience than trying to play like a scout fighter, which is going to be, flying around at max speed and ducking and diving in and out of combat. I don't have the ability to do that. I'm fucking dumb and bad at this game. So instead, we play point and click adventures and then nuke people from a distance. Huzzah! That's tip number 2. All right, tip number 3. So you need to balance 3 aspects of your ship. You can look down there in the bottom left-hand corner. There is a weapons power resource, a shields power resource, and then a engines power resource. So it's weapons is orange, shields is blue, and then engines is purple. Now, you can redirect those resources around your ship by using the F1, F2, or F3 keys. It might be keybound differently based on what your keybinds are. So you can see here I've clicked on F3 and now it has diverted power to my engines, which is going to let my engine resource regenerate faster. Now that I've popped into my shooting mode, I need to have more blaster resources. I don't know what the fuck it's called. So I've clicked on F1 to give me the faster regeneration rate on my weapon power. You can see on the left-hand side of my little sniper reticle here, there is the orange bar that's slowly regenerating. That is my weapon power. So if I run out of that, I can't shoot anymore. That's how they prevent people from just like holding W and holding left click and shooting all the time, is that you need to manage the different resources. Now, when you spawn by default, you're going to have all the resources balanced, which is fine. However, if you want to be taking that to the next level and really be taking advantage of all the ship resources that the game has to offer, you should be balancing out those F1, F2, F3, and F4 buttons to make sure that you're not just sitting at a balance. You can be more optimizing your gameplay to... how did I fucking miss that? I'm so bad. You can be better optimizing your resource management to suit the actual content that you're doing at the moment, be it flying between objectives or shooting enemy targets. So those are my 3 basic tips for people who are just getting into Starfighter. It is kind of a chore. I guess tip number 4 would be just stick with your friends. Like, when you are alone, you die in this game. Especially like you saw just happen right then when I was trying to defend the node, but I was alone, which caused 7 people to jump on me, and there's just no escape from that situation. You're just kind of fucked. So fly with your friends. Well, if you want to play with your actual friends, I mean, obviously do that. But fly with your teammates. You can tell in the bottom right-hand corner is that mini-map. Fly towards the big green dots. If you fly into a mess of red dots, you're just going to die. Like, that's no fun. Unless you just want to get the game over and over with as soon as possible and just want to actively throw. So, I hope you guys are doing alright. Looks like this game's going to be coming to an end here soon. Don't expect to see a lot of Starfighter content from me. Obviously, I'm not that fucking good at it. I'm more just doing this as a public service announcement for the basics of those of you who want to get into Starfighter after Galactic Seasons. Unfortunately, it's not really a good reason to play Starfighter outside of the Galactic Seasons. The rewards are they're all right, but it's not like it's not gonna knock your socks off, right? However, it can be a fun game mode. I like it in moderation, which is kind of why I like the Galactic Seasons. However, I know that there are some people that are just getting into it and really fucking hate dealing with it. So I hope this makes it a little more manageable for you and just a little more fun. Because Gunship, I think, is actually a lot of fun in this game. It's, at least for me, it's a much more satisfying experience than trying to play like a scout fighter. Because I'm just so bad at like the flying and turning and shooting, which is like... flying, turning, and shooting is like 95% of what Starfighter is. So if I could just narrow that down to one shooting, then that's much better off. That's much more suited for what I'm able to do, especially in my currently crippled state. So that's kind of all I got. Unfortunately, I ran out of shit to talk about with a minute left in the game. That's a damn shame. Well, on the bright side, despite my current pain, I'm in a better spot than my roommate is because a man approached my roommate in a Popeyes yesterday, and it was like, "Hey, you've welcomed me in here." Like, he doesn't work at this Popeyes, mind you. He's coming in to get his chicken. He's like, "Man, you welcomed me in here. I just feel like I need to talk to you, and I think I love you. I think my wife loves you. You wanna call me sometime?" And so I'm pretty sure the man wanted him to join a chicken sex cult. So at least I didn't have that day. I had this day instead. So yeah, that's all I got. You can see we killed 15 people and did like 70,000 damage, which is it's pretty neat. So I hope you guys enjoy your Starfighter matches, and I'll see you soon with some regular PvP content, hopefully. All right. Bye now. Ta-ta.